This video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Hey guys, and welcome to my Realm of Magic build, my first one. I haven't seen you guys in like a month, so hello, I have missed you all. I think you're well aware that I was away doing very important CZ business. The kitchen is now out, available, link in description. But yeah, today we are focusing on the Realm of Magic, the new pack that came out today. So I'm sorry I'm late with my build. I normally get them out before release, but you know, my body failed me and I have been in bed for like 2 days before this. So that's why we're a little bit late, and I am a slow builder. So this build took me about 9 hours to do, and that's why we're late. So anyway, without further ado, I just want to hit on the point that this build does contain custom content, which is actually very rare for me. In fact, no, this is the first time I've ever put custom content in my first build for a pack. It's because I was totally stumped with building with the new windows. The new windows are in this build, but I really wanted to showcase the new windows and doors and do an Art Nouveau themed build. Unfortunately, I feel like they kind of missed the point of Art Nouveau with the windows and doors because they're for the short wall height. The windows that I'm using here are for the short wall height. Most of them are, apart from one, I think, which is for the medium wall height. If you know anything about Art Nouveau, you'll know that they have massively tall ceilings in Art Nouveau builds, and so giving me short windows is questionable. What I've got to say is I would love for future releases if we could have the windows, same window, don't need to give me different styles, the same window in a variety of heights. They don't seem to ever do the same window in another height. They do, you know, a different window, same kind of theme, same family, but never the same window in a different height. I would love it if you could give me that window in a medium. I probably don't need it in a tall, to be quite honest, but at least in a medium so that we're a bit taller. I've actually used CC on this build because the windows just are too short. And I wanted to pull off this grand look. This is a second Empire build, not Art Nouveau, because I found Art Nouveau kind of impossible with the windows. And there was nothing, no CC, none of Felix's CC is Art Nouveau. I didn't feel like there was anything I could add to it to make it look Art Nouveau and to pull off any build I had planned. So I decided to go second Empire because I feel like these builds fit into this world as well perfectly. That could have been a very obvious way for the Sims team to go kind of Victorian, but I feel like it kind of would have been overkill with vampires and what else? Oh, Strangeville as well, with being, both of them are being Gothic and Victorian. So Art Nouveau was a good thing for them to do in this world, but I feel like just because they picked that style, it's a little bit limiting, and they try to get around that by doing them on a short wall height so that, you know, people could use these windows and doors in more builds that aren't Art Nouveau, because that would be, you know, that would be the aim of everything. But I think in the end it just ended up that I can't use the windows for Art Nouveau, but I can use them for every other style. So it kind of meant, yeah, no Art Nouveau for me, but other style builds, yep, the windows work great for those. So yeah, that's kind of my main summary of that. I don't think I've seen anyone do Art Nouveau yet, apart from Peacemaker's done an Art Nouveau build, and he showed me his inspiration for that one, and it was literally like he'd found the house that they based all of these windows in this pack on. I'm not joking. It was like minimalist Art Nouveau. I was like, since when does this exist? But the windows on it were identical to the ones we have in the pack, so he got lucky on that one. And it had loads of curved roof and everything. So that's the only Art Nouveau build I've seen. I would have loved to have done Art Nouveau for this, but I just didn't feel like with the items it was possible. I kind of like to stay truer to real life. So if I'm doing Art Nouveau, I'm not going to be using the short wall heights. I'm going to be using the tall ones. And yeah, so long-winded. What can I say? This world as well, Glimmerbrook. The lighting in it is beautiful. I've got to say, I really do like the lighting. It makes my build look delicious. We have 5 lots in this world, 4 30 by 20s and a 40 by 30. And I've got to say that my disappointment cannot be hidden at the 4 30 by 20s. The builder in me is like, no! I'm sure if you do gameplay, 30 by 20s are fine for you. You're like, yay, 30 by 20s, new world, hype. But a 30 by 20 for me, I don't think I've even done more than 10 builds ever in my life on a 30 by 20 lot. I think it may even be under 5 builds that I've done on a 30 by 20 lot. So I do have plans for the rest of this world. They're going to be in this kind of Second Empire style, or maybe Victorian Italianate kind of style. So lots of Felix's CC is going to be used in this world. It's going to be my CC and Felix's CC is going to renovate this entire world. So get ready for that one. But yeah, I need a bigger lot than a 30 by 20. So I've really going to have to put my creative hat on to make the builds that I want to do fit on those lots. I love landscaping, and that's just not going to happen on 30 by 20. Also, I must say that this 40 by 30, great size 40 by 30, but because it's landscape, I feel like it's a little bit more limiting, because normally on a 40 by 30 you can have a slightly deeper house, but on this you've got to stay within basically this lot is like building a house on a 30 by 30, and then you have this kind of strange side garden thing going on, which I don't particularly enjoy doing a side garden. I'd rather have the garden at the back of the house, but needs must. That's what we did. And we made a beautiful garden, by the way. This coming up now, we're going on to the landscaping. Also quite difficult to do this because there are these huge driveways in front of all of these lots now, including at the starter house. There's like this huge grand driveway, and then you're like, here's a tiny starter house. You're welcome. So it would have been nice maybe to change up the different driveways and entrances to the lots so that they were kind of, one looked a bit more run down and one looked nicer. I feel like every area is kind of the same. Yeah, every single lot seems the same. It doesn't seem like there's, I don't know, a higher end area and a lower end, probably because of the small number of lots. So you're not going to do different distinct neighborhoods. They're all kind of the same theme. It's just a little bit strange. It would be nice maybe just for one lot to look a little bit less well kept. Would have been nice, maybe. But yeah, those are my first impressions. I really do like the build by items that came with it. Again, very specific for Art Nouveau. I've used them in here. I think they can, unless you know they're Art Nouveau, you can get away with it, to be quite honest. In this Victorian build, any kind of traditional build, you're probably going to be able to use the objects in there. So yeah, they're not too specific to Art Nouveau. I've got to say, we'll talk more about the items once we get inside the build, because I definitely got one highlight of the pack that I want to show you once we get inside. But yeah, I love, can I just say, the fountain that came with this. That right there on the right hand side is the fountain that came with this pack, and it is delicious. I think that's probably my favorite thing in the whole entire pack, is that fountain. It's gorgeous. The only thing is it doesn't light up at nighttime, which I think normally the fountains do. Maybe I'm going crazy, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they normally do. So yeah, I was like, oh, doesn't light up. But yeah, we've done a really cool garden on this right hand side. We've got on the left, it's kind of just bushes. You'll see those going in a sec. But then on the right hand side, it's like an overgrown, wild kind of garden. There's flowers everywhere and grass basically. And that conservatory there is a set by Brazen Lotus. She's done a greenhouse set, so we've got the roof from that. I really wanted to do a conservatory on this build. I was just like, that was the one thing that I was just not going to compromise on. So I actually had to go and download that CC just to get that greenhouse set, because in case you don't know, the glass roofs that come with the game, they don't cut each other out, they just overlap and intersect. And so I really wanted to put that diagonal on the corner of the conservatory, and if I did that, I'd have some weird overlapping roofs that would look disgusting. So I decided, hey, we've already got CC in here, let's just add a bit more, and we'll do that one. Also, Brazen Lotus did amazing add-ons for those romantic garden stuff windows that are in the conservatory, so she made different sizes of them for all the different heights as well. Thank you very much. This is what we always want, windows in different heights. So yeah, that was perfect for this build. Those are definitely going to be staying in my game. I don't think I normally play with Brazen Lotus in my game, just occasionally I'm like clutter, but we definitely need a little upgrade to the glass roofs. Would be great if they could cut each other out so that we'd have some weird walls on the inside of the glass, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this build turned out. It was a long process. I think it was probably 9 hours, I'm not gonna lie, over maybe 2 days. 9 hours over 2 days, I think. One day I did just, when I was ill, just stare at the build. I think I did the floor plan on that day, and I literally just stared at the screen, so that nothing got done on that day apart from staring at screens. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. If you saw at the beginning, there was like a red brick or a brownie red brick on the build, and then I swapped over and changed to this lighter brick. This brick is new, excuse me, in the patch that came up. There's a plain brick that matches the brick that comes with the pack. It has those end pieces, those decorative end pieces that are on the tower. Love that detail. I just wish that the auto wallpaper corner things worked properly, which they don't. I would have put that all over this build and just had the same end pieces at either side of the house, but they don't work. And if you put an inside wall that joins the outside wall, you get this random corner piece appear in the middle of your wall as well. I just think it needs a little bit of a revision, that system, or just give me a separate wallpaper for the end pieces so that I can put them where I want them. That's what CC creators normally do, is give you a end piece for your decorative bit, and then, you know, your main plain brick. I would love it if the game could just switch to that, because there are so many like all the sidings that have the corner trims, automatic corner trims, that I never use them because they just don't go where you think they're supposed to go. And I always end up just using the plain siding and then putting columns on all the corners, which then of course you've got the issue of, hey, columns are meant to be darker at the bottom, so you have this weird dirty bit in the middle of your house. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think the pack, as a Sims fan, I would always buy packs. I'm sorry, I'd like to have all the packs. The gameplay is not something that I was looking forward to. I'm not a magical kind of person in my gameplay. So yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to that, and I haven't done any gameplay yet at all. I'll probably play with spellcasters maybe once or twice, and then I'll just go back to playing it how I normally do, to be quite honest. But yeah, the items are good. Build buy items are really good. I think the windows, great in concept. I just would need an add-on set to make these usable. So yeah, just if anyone wants to do them, I would say I would do them, but I'm not too sure I want to. I'd rather do a Strangerville add-on first than these windows, to be quite honest. I think I prefer the Strangerville ones. But yeah, if you're into magic, this is definitely going to be the pack for you. I feel like there are just a few elements and errors in this pack that just kind of make it that I can't be as enthusiastic as I really want to be about saying get it to you. This is only coming, of course, from a build buy perspective, not a gameplay. I haven't done any gameplay, I'm just going to tell you again. But in terms of build buy, you know, mistakes like the awful looking houses in the world, things that I call mistakes, I'm putting air quotes, like having 4 30 by 20 lots, things like having stairs on a building that lead to nowhere. I'm sure you've all seen Little Simsy's video on that one. Things like just there's little tiny errors in this pack that are so not in character with The Sims. I'm kind of wondering what is going on. They're really small, silly errors, like really stupid, small errors that I don't expect them from the team. And I know that they're really passionate about what they do. Like you can see it in everything they do. They're really passionate and love this game. So I'm just wondering why these errors are kind of creeping in. This pack especially, there are a lot of errors. I'm not even going to call it like, for example, that bookcase that is there, that 3-tile bookshelf. It actually has 2 slots. You know, you have slots on bookshelves, you know, where you can put extra stuff. The slots on that, if you go to put something in that shelf, are 3 tiles behind the bookshelf. So you can't put anything on the bookshelf because when you go to it, it snaps to a slot that is 3 tiles behind the bookshelf. Which is just kind of crazy for me, how you can have a slot 3 tiles away from the actual bookshelf. Yeah. Also, they're just tiny errors, but you know, errors that you're gonna have to wait a while for them to be corrected because patching corrections in takes a while. So yeah, there's things like the kitchen cabinets. Yes, they are a retexture of the base game mesh. I don't have a problem with you reusing the base game mesh. You did it for vampires. Vampire kitchen, probably my favourite kitchen in the game that they've added in. The only limitations of that was there was only 3 swatches. Oh yeah, there I am looking at the bookcase with the slot way behind the shelf. But yeah, I just wish that the kitchen had cabinets. That's the little error that's with the kitchen. They've got the island. We won't talk about the island living kitchen islands because I think everyone has said enough. So we'll just move on from that. The islands are there, the counters are there are no cabinets, and the base game mesh, the base game version and the vampire version of the same kitchen don't have the same swatch colours. So yeah, that's why in the kitchen you'll see there is 1 shelf. I don't have a shelf to match the colour either. I thought maybe it was a conscious choice, we won't have cabinets, so I thought maybe then there'd be a shelf to match the kitchen, but there isn't. So I'm not too sure. I haven't heard anything about why there aren't cabinets, if it was a conscious choice or if it was a mistake again, like the islands being missed out of Island Living. I don't know, so I can't comment on that one. But yeah, it's just little mistakes like that are kind of, you really want the team to succeed and you're just like, oh, you just felt like the last little hurdle is those like little finishing touches and details. I just feel like I don't know what's happening with the quality control, but it's just not there. The items, beautifully made, you're like, oh yeah, they look really great. But just that last, I don't know what's happening in that last process that is just not working. Yeah, it's the quality control. It's not anything about making it. Yeah, I know when you're doing things like this, you can make those little mistakes like, hey, putting slots in it, but you normally have a team there to check to make sure and double check that everything has been done right, because when you're working on a project, you can be way too close to the subject. Like, I can be working, for example, I'm a graphic designer, I could be working on something for weeks on end. I am the worst person to check my work because I'm just too close to the project. I can't spot the errors. So I give it to someone that has no clue about the project, doesn't know anything about what's going on, and they check my work. That's just the way it goes, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly the way it's going to go in the Sims team. So I'm just wondering who's checking, because maybe they need to recheck the checking. So yeah, it's just little errors like that, like no cabinets, slots being in the wrong place. I've heard that new ice watches got added in and they don't work. It's just, the errors on this one are piling up. I know the tile that is in the kitchen, there's a blue swatch, and they've loaded the wrong texture into the medium wall height. So on the medium wall height, there are no blue tiles, there's aqua tiles, so you don't have a swatch of that. It's just those little things. I'm like, oh. So if anyone from the team does actually watch this video, I really hope you can take my points and kind of learn from them. I hope it's just that last little hurdle to get over, that's just something slipping. And I'm really kind of disappointed because I feel like this pack had such great potential, but sometimes I feel like maybe it wasn't thought all the way through, or maybe we need kind of more interaction between the community and the team, which I know there is already a lot of interaction, but maybe, I don't know, polls, community polls, things like that, to find out what we really want and how we really use the game. For things like windows, like I said, I want 3 different heights of windows, or at least 2. Or if it's going to be Art Nouveau, then it better be tall, because that's what the builds were. They were tall walls. So why would you put short windows in? Things like that. Just those little things. I think maybe they're trying to they're not playing to the person that's building this and kind of knows what Art Nouveau is, I feel. I don't think they're building to me at 33 years old. They're building to someone that is, I don't know, just getting the pack at 13. I know I definitely didn't know what Art Nouveau was at 13. So they're probably aiming it at someone that is just getting the game, or someone younger that isn't really interested in what the style is. They just think, hey, it's old and traditional looking. So yeah, I'm just would love just that last little bit. Just that last little bit is missing, and it just makes me sad, to be quite honest. So yeah, that, and they've put in a white swatch in this and a black swatch, so that shows into all of these items, which shows they must be listening to some things, because we know we all complained about white and black swatches and them not being in every item, and they've definitely added them in. So I'm very happy that all of these items come with a white and a black plain swatch, so that you can fit them into other builds. That's great versatility, great. But yeah, just the little things. I'm actually talking about the items that came with this. There is a curtain there, and it's I think it's meant to go over arches that are 3 tiles wide, but it didn't really go in here, so I didn't use it. There is an arch that I haven't used in here that's for the medium wall heights. I would have loved it for the tall wall height as well. And it's got like a circle cut out, and it's made of wood. That is gorgeous. That's definitely going to be used somewhere in another build somewhere. I think that piece is just stunning, like really, really stunning. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would use. There are lots of items that I would use. Unfortunately, they can't all be used in one build. If it did get all used in one build, it'd be a slightly confused build. But yeah, I love the little bug lights that you can see me putting on there, the little touches. I would have actually kind of expected more clutter items, I think, in this set. I think clutter items are just so important in the game because they just bring everything together and bring the theme to life. You can use Art Nouveau counters like I'm doing here and everything, but if you don't have the clutter items, I feel like it doesn't quite translate all the way through. So yeah, there was barely any clutter items. There's a new light in the game. You'll see it around this. I've used it in several places in this build. That's like a hovering crystal and it's a light. I think that is gorgeous. I'm going to use that in every build. It won't even matter what kind of build it is. I also really like the appliances that they put in here. Very specific, very fairy tale like. So I think this set is more... I'd say this set was probably more fairy tale than Art Nouveau. I feel like it's just fairy tale. I don't feel like it's maybe witchy, but I feel like you should be in the forest. We are in a forest world, so it's very... It just feels like maybe you should be like an elf or a fairy rather than a witch with these items. I don't know why. That's just the vibe I get from it. But this house, I kept it... It's very luxe on the outside. It's got gold with a kind of peachy, yellowy brick. And I fell in love. As soon as I put the roof together with the brick, I was like, oh, it needs gold on the outside. It was great. On the inside, definitely want to keep it light and bright. So I'm thinking a definite white witch. We're not calling them witches in the game, are we? We're calling them spellcasters. Definitely someone that uses good magic only in this house. So I kept everything pretty light and bright. White floors throughout. Lots of white walls. White and cream. I tried to limit the amount of CC I use on the inside. So the outside, of course, you got Felixander everywhere. The inside, I've used Doors by Felixander, but everything else I've kind of kept to in-game content, of course, because I wanted to show you everything that you get with the pack. That's kind of the compromise I do with this kind of first builds. I try and show off as much content that comes in the pack, and not so much build it as I would if I kind of had choice of everything in my library, because if I did, some of the stuff I probably wouldn't use for every situation, you know. That's just being honest. You wouldn't use every single item, but of course for this you want to show off as many items as possible, so that's what you do. But yeah, with the next builds that are going to be coming out for this world, I'm just going to be using whatever items I feel look best. So there'll probably be less Realm of Magic items in them, but there'll definitely be some in there because I think they are good. And I just want to slow down. I slowed down on this section here because this did make me laugh when I was going through all the items. If you just look at the pattern on the rug, I think I'm not being very generous here to whoever's this is, so we'll just downsize and we'll just make this a little bit longer. You know, the pattern reminds me of something, you know. I'm not too sure, you know, it's right there on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite get what it is that this pattern reminds me of. So maybe you can leave your suggestions in the comment section down below what exactly that pattern reminds you of, because, you know, just right there, but I just can't remember. So yeah, I've got to say, like, design 101. Does it look like some kind of genitalia? If so, adjust design. Is definitely something that comes to mind when looking at that rug. But anyway, moving on. In this room, we've just done a room that has witchy stuff. So we've got a cauldron in here which lights up. It's really cool, actually, the animation on this. It has blue flames. There's also blue flames that come out of the fireplace that was used in the living room. where those gems are, basically blue flames come out, and this is the kind of upgraded cauldron, I think. I'm not too sure if you're going to have a problem and it's going to set your house on fire if you use it indoors, but it looks kind of cute in here. If it just ends up being decoration, then sorry. But yeah, it looks cute in here. And I think you can make mac and cheese in there. I'm not too sure if you can do any other meals, but I know you can definitely make a whole cauldron full of mac and cheese if you do so wish. So anyway, upstairs into the master bedroom. I wanted to use green in this build, and that is Felix's wallpaper, and I just couldn't find any other greens that went with it that are in game, so I ended up removing it just to go more matching with the bed tones, and I must say I actually really like the bed. First impressions, I didn't particularly enjoy that bed too much, but I've got to say it's grown on me. It has actually grown on me. I would love to see somebody just remove the four-poster bit from it and have just the Art Nouveau frame, because I think the frame is really, really nice. So I would love to see that. What else in here? Because we don't have cabinets, I've used the island there to put the TV on the corner. There is no TV downstairs. There is only a TV up here, so you have to be in the master bedroom to watch television. But yeah, I love all the little details. The rug is cute. The dresser is great because you have that wide dresser there, and you also have a tall version. I've used the tall version in the living room because I think it just looks like a cute drawer unit as well. But yeah, overall, I like the items. Is it something that I would necessarily be running out to get? Probably not, I don't think. I would say that it's not a pack I'd be running to go get. My personal hype would not be for this pack. If you put university in front of me, yes, my hype would be real and I would be going to get it no matter what the reviews said, to be quite honest. But yeah, so I'm going to try and play around with it. There are some items in there I really like. I really like the picture frame. I really like the mirror there and everything. So I think they all go well together, and I think you can do like a really nice interior using all the items, because there's a bedroom set, there's like a living room set, there's kitchen kitchen counters. So I think you can do a whole build with them, in my opinion, or an Art Nouveau one, but more kind of like a whimsical witchy magical build rather than Art Nouveau. It's just that the designer in me really wants to go Art Nouveau because they're clearly in an Art Nouveau style, but I kind of just need to switch that part of me off and just to say, let's do a whimsical build that uses these items rather than go Art Nouveau. So I'm sorry, because I know someone definitely commented yesterday, oh, I can't wait to see the first build, I'm secretly hoping it's Art Nouveau. I'm really sorry it's not. At the moment, I just don't think that one's going to happen. So yeah, I've just got to cover the CC in this is by Felixander. There'll definitely be a link in the description box for that. I'm hopefully going to do a Tumblr post for this, so the link should be there in the description box for all the details on this. My Heritage set part 2 is in this as well, and Felixander's content, and also Brazen Lotus's greenhouse content is in there. So just 3 different creators and not that much, mostly on the exterior, as I said. But yeah, so we're on to the last bedroom in here. We're still, this floor around the outside is a new floor that came with the pack. I really actually do like the floor. I would have loved it if we could have that pattern as a separate floor and the plain one as a separate floor. Really simple thing to do. It's just the last little touch for customability was not there. I've got to actually say props for the peen looking rug that is in the hallway, because they've just done the different swatches as different components within the rug. So you can do an end piece with that rug and a middle piece, whereas in Vampires they did them as different separate pieces. But that one reduces the amount of clutter in your catalogue, so props for that one. But yeah, I've cut out all of the bathrooms in this, but there will be screenshots through the end. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you already have the pack, what you think of it, and any future builds you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye guys!